Have you ever had one of those Christmases where everything just seems to go wrong? Well, dear listeners, Dr. Hatch Salmon certainly has, twice in fact. Imagine this: a festive Christmas Eve, a house full of guests, a beautifully decorated tree, and Dr. Salmon, a renowned aquatic biologist in his element, celebrating with a glass of fine whiskey. As the night wore on, the whiskey flowed freely and Dr. Salmon's enthusiasm grew. A dance here, a twirl there, and suddenly the Christmas tree was on the floor. Ornaments scattered, lights flickering. In his exuberance, he'd knocked the tree over without even realizing it. And then, in a twist of fate that only Dr. Salmon could manage, he set the tree on fire. Yes, you heard that right. With a careless flick of his cigarette, the tree was ablaze. As the flames grew, so did Dr. Salmon's insistence that he could handle it. "It's just a little fire," he'd yell, stomping about, spreading the flames further. Despite the pleas of his guests, Dr. Salmon refused to call the fire department, his argumentative nature taking over. It wasn't until he passed out, and the fire department was finally called, that the chaos was brought under control. The next Christmas, our dear Dr. Salmon found himself in a similar predicament. Another Christmas Eve, another glass of whiskey, another dancing Christmas tree. Only this time, he didn't just knock the tree over. Instead, he set the presents on fire, engulfing the room in flames once again. And there he was, passed out in his armchair, surrounded by the charred remains of a once beautiful Christmas celebration. It was a sight to behold, really. Dr. Salmon, the brilliant scientist, brought down by his own Christmas enthusiasm. So, what's the lesson here, you may wonder? Well, it's rather simple, really. No matter how much you love something, in Dr. Salmon's case, whiskey, remember to handle it responsibly. And maybe, just maybe, don't try to put out a fire while under its influence. Because, as Dr. Salmon learned the hard way, a little fire can quickly turn into a big problem.